Hi, I'm Holly, and with my sister Heather, you're listening to Haunted Family Podcast, a weekly podcast about the paranormal, unsolved mysteries, and even some true crime.
And even.
And this week is my least favorite topic.
Well, it's not really your least favorite topic.
My least favorite genre.
Yes.
That we cover.
And that is
Unsolved
mysteries.
Mysteries. I hate them. I mean, I like the show Unsolved Mysteries, but I just hate covering Unsolved Mysteries because I feel like we should wrap it up. Like, I feel like we should be like Scooby-Doo, and at the end of our hour, we know who did it.
We are not the type of podcasters who will probably ever solve a crime for you because Holly does not have patience for that. Okay. Well, do we have any updates this week?
I don't, but you are kicking ass with our YouTube channel.
I am. And I'm really, y'all, listen, with every view, I get, so excited. When our True Ouija Board Stories video hit 90 views, I cried. Cried. And I know for, most YouTubers, 90 views is, nothing. But, that's something for me. So, if you're one of the people who've watched my YouTube videos, thank you. It really means a lot to me. And I'm having so much fun
doing what you wanted to do to begin with.
Yes, finding the stories and making the videos, and I'm having so much fun with it. So thank you for everybody who has watched our videos this week and last week and all the weeks. I love you. You've made my day.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't really have anything to add. I mean, I'll never complain if you want to buy something from my Etsy shop. Just cat hair glitter. There's no and. Just cat hair glitter.
She has made some super cute shirts this week.
I have. Oh my gosh, listen. And I've been branching out into other things. So, I'm doing ornaments and pendant necklaces with pictures on them. And pretty much if you like a shirt and you want it in a coffee cup, I can do that.
She made dog collars, name tags for all of my dogs this week.
Yes.
And they're super cute.
And
for those who don't know, I have 2 dogs of my own, but my boyfriend's mom has 3 dogs. And yeah, they play together all day, every day. So it's like I have 5 dogs. And yeah, she made them all 5 collar tags, each that sort of fit their personality.
Yep, and I've got travel size pillowcases I'm going to be working on soon. Working on some license plates. So
that should sell good. Last Christmas in my Etsy shop, I did a run of neck pillows. And they sold really well.
Well, I was just thinking, swim season's going to be here before you know it. And marching band season means nothing to me now. But,
But it's here, and, most bands I know started band camp this morning.
Yes, and, your kids are going to be traveling, if you have kids, they're going to be traveling on buses to various sporting events, and if they're anything like mine, they're going to want a pillow so they can sleep on the way back. And
road trip season. Come on.
So
visit your favorite paranormal location. You need a neck pillow if you're not the driver.
So anyway, I'm working on that this week too,
and it's not just cutesy sayings. She has
it's mostly sarcastic
mythical creature
stuff.
sayings and sarcastic sayings and true crime sayings. And
yeah.
So if you like our podcast, you'll probably like the merchandise she's making in her shop.
Right, and if you're listening and you go to my shop and you don't see anything that you like, send me a message if there's something that you're thinking that you might want, because I've never done custom orders for anybody just because most people that I know in real life don't want
Are
to.
difficult.
Well, they want you to do a mock-up for them to see what you can do. And then they want about 20 revisions, and then they decide that since you're not giving it to them for free because you know them, then they don't want it. So it's honestly, dealing with people that I know locally is not usually worth it because of that. But if you are a paying customer, I will custom design anything you want.
She has a lot of Bigfoot shirts and Puckwedgie, which is my favorite mythical creature ever.
I know, I designed them just for you.
Yeah.
I have a lot of witch and Wiccan stuff. Just because I wanted them. That's pretty much it. So it's basically stuff I would wear.
It's basically our podcast in a store.
Yeah. I mean, even like the school stuff, it's all stuff that I would wear out. So
I don't actually know if her children own anything that is not something that she has made.
they do own a few things. It's really funny because I made a shirt this week for my ex-cousin-in-law. That is a family member, right? Ex-cousin-in-law. Then when I made her a shirt because her son plays football, and Emmy saw it and she said, "Oh my God, Mom, I have to have one." And I was like, "Emmy, honey, you have one. I made it for you." That's how she saw it. Emmy was like, "Oh, never mind this."
But yeah, super cute. I don't think she actually has anything with our like logo on it
I may
in the shop, but if you want something with our logo on it, she'll make it for you.
Yeah, really. I mean, I'm flexible. I'll do whatever.
Okay, so the topic for tonight, well, today, whenever you're listening to this.
Right, we're recording it at night, so
Yeah.
tonight it is.
Yeah. Oh, God. Like we said, it's one of those stories that we really don't like because it's unsolved.
Well, I don't like it for two reasons. Because one, it involves camping, and nothing good ever comes when you go camping.
Holly, I have never been murdered camping.
Yet, you just wait.
Although I was almost attacked by a bear the last time I went camping. It's all because somebody in camp left a chocolate cake out on their table. On Labor Day weekend, 1974, Richard Cowden, his wife Belinda, and their children, David James Phillips and Melissa Cowden, went camping.
And their dog Droopy. But if you're
Yes.
like me and you have to know if something happens to the animal in a story, rest assured, Droopy is fine.
And Droopy has to be the absolute best name for a basset hound ever.
I stopped at a gas station like a few weeks ago, and this guy pulled up beside me. Okay, it sounds like it would be dangerous, like I would be about to be kidnapped, but it was a very, very, very old man on a cane, so I thought I could take him. But he had a basset hound with his head stuck out of his truck, and I went in to get something to drink, and I was like, "Can I pet your dog?" Because I always ask if I can pet somebody's dog before I pet the dog, because that's just what a good person does, so that they, because you don't know other people's dogs. It's kind of like children. You wouldn't just touch somebody's child. You ask if you can touch their dog, because the dog may be sick. The dog may not like people. They might not just like you and don't want you touching their dog. Or, it might be a service dog, and you shouldn't touch those anyway. Although we have a friend whose mom has a service dog, and that dog is so used to me that if it sees me out and I don't pet it, it gets huffy.
Yeah, if you see me on the street and my male dog is with me, I will probably advise you not to pet him, because he is really he's a friendly dog. He really is, but he is very anxious in crowds and with people he doesn't know.
I know. I mean, I'm the one that got him for her, and he's still a little leery of me. That doesn't stop me. I still rough him up a little.
Okay, so
anyway,
can we get out to the story?
Sorry, I petted this this dog. It was a basset hound, and its name was Droopy too. Not Droopy too, but Droopy also.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
Droopy lives.
Yeah, Droopy lives. Droopy's fine.
But now we just gave away the plot twist that this family dies.
No, I was not going to say that the family died. I was just saying that Droopy was fine.
Okay.
We don't know yet whether the people die.
The area that is camping at is in the Siskiyou Mountains near Carberry Creek in Copper, Oregon.
And one time I went camping Labor Day weekend and I got pneumonia. So, see, camping is bad. The last time that anybody saw this family... Oh, look, newsflash. They don't live. The last time anybody saw this family was when...
September 1st.
Right. The dad and little boy David went to...
David was 5 at the time.
Yes. And they went to a little convenience store that was near the campsite and got a quart of milk. And...
They did not take their truck. They walked to the convenience store and walked back.
And yeah, and that was it. Nobody knew that they were missing until later that evening. They were supposed to go to Belinda's mom's house. She lived
a mile away. They were supposed to stop at her house for dinner on their way home.
Right,
and they never showed up.
So she went to the campsite. And everything was still there. Did she go to the
campsite that night, or did she go the next morning?
I think she went that night.
Because I couldn't find that anywhere about what time she arrived at the campsite. But anyway, when she got there, she found the carton of milk half full
sitting on
the picnic table, along with the keys to the truck and Belinda's purse. On the ground, they found Richard's wallet and a pack of cigarettes that belonged to Belinda.
Right. Their clothes was folded, and nothing was missing. Okay.
The only thing missing was their swimsuits.
How? How do you know this? How in the world do people know that only the swimsuits was missing? If I went to your campsite, I wouldn't know what in the world was missing.
And you know what? The people I camp with wouldn't know what was missing.
It's like several years ago we had a friend.
Anthony wouldn't know what I'd packed with me and what was missing. If I went missing from this house, he wouldn't be able to tell you what of mine was missing from this house.
Right. I had a friend. I don't know really if she's a friend of yours, Heather, but she eloped. And the mom was like, she looked in her closet. She was like, oh, well, there's a dress. Like, a dress was missing. How? Like, how would you even know that? I mean, I could look in Emmy's closet and not tell you what's missing. I definitely could look in Abby's closet and not tell you.
Those girls have more clothes than Walmart.
I know. But, I mean, I couldn't tell you what was missing. I couldn't even look in my closet and tell you if something was missing. Anyway, so the Cowdens actually had not planned to go camping on Labor Day weekend. Richard was a truck driver. He worked for a logging company, and he was actually supposed to haul gravel that weekend. And the gravel was for his driveway, and he was just going to work on that for the weekend. But the truck broke down, so they decided, okay, spur of the moment, let's go camping in the mountains.
Yeah. Okay. Also left behind was the diaper bag, which is important because Melissa was only 5 months old.
Mm-hmm. And
so,
if you know,
she still needed stuff.
Yeah, if you know anything about a baby, you don't go 5 minutes without taking that diaper bag with you, because as soon as you do, there's going to be explosive diarrhea.
Yeah, or explosive vomit, or something,
or both.
Something on that child is going to explode.
Also, there was a plastic dishpan that was full of cold water. So, I mean, obviously they were cleaning up, packing up to leave when whatever happened, but there was no sign of struggle.
And there was no robbery. Richard's watch, which was kind of expensive, was still at the campsite. His wallet still had cash in it.
Right, and the truck was a 1956
I think Ford.
Ford. Mm-hmm.
None of their stuff had been taken out of the truck.
Nope, and the truck was still there with the keys. So
yeah. Police, since there was no sign of a struggle, did not take this very seriously. Of course. And didn't start searching for probably a day and a half.
Yeah. I mean, although they did say that even though they didn't take it seriously, they said that the campsite was very spooky because everything, it just looked like they vanished.
Had walked off. Yeah. Nothing was touched. Nothing was taken.
Right. On September 2nd, the Basset Hound Droopy was scratching on the front door of Copper General Store. So the same store that they went to get the milk, the dog found his way there.
They at this point they had brought in helicopters and planes that was equipped with infrared photography that could detect freshly turned dirt grave sites. And they started searching an area of about 25 square miles.
Right.
All the trails, roads, and campsites in the area. It was a joint effort between the Oregon National Guard, the United States Forestry Service,
and then just friends and family,
the Explorer Scouts, local police, and state police and volunteers. So it was a pretty massive search at this point in time.
One of the largest in Oregon history, actually.
Yeah, about 150 volunteers showed up to help search. And they found nothing. No sign of the family.
Yeah, so they obviously did not find any bodies at this time. They checked the creek, thinking that maybe there was a drowning.
Which would explain, their swimsuits were missing. Maybe they had went swimming in the creek and something had happened and they drowned. It's possible.
They ruled out a suicide because the family didn't really have any debt. They weren't behind on their payments on anything. And Richard actually had a really good job working as a logger.
There was no indication that there was any struggle within the family.
Right.
Flash forward to April 12th, 1975. Two gold prospectors. I didn't even know gold prospecting was still a thing in the 70s.
I don't know. I didn't know that either, but I'm telling you, now I have this mental picture of what these people look like. And if they didn't look like 49ers, then I'm not even going to be able to deal with
football players?
It. No, but I am surprised that you know that the 49ers is a football team. Did you have to research that?
No. I just knew that, that San Francisco 49ers was a football team and that they were named after the gold prospectors.
Right.
From that time period.
Do you remember when Joe Montana retired?
Yes. And Steve Young took over and Eric put the picture of Steve Young
on the
refrigerator and said it was the Steve Young diet plan because every time he went to the refrigerator he got so disgusted that he couldn't eat anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if Steve Young is listening, please don't sue us. We don't have any money.
No. And I'm sorry. I mean, you weren't bad, but I mean, come on, Joe Montana was pretty damn awesome and you weren't.
And we were all kids at the time.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't think I was a kid.
Eric was, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So, two gold prospectors from Forest Grove, Oregon, were hiking through the area near Carberry Creek when they discovered a badly decomposed body tied to a tree on a very steep hillside. of course, they called 911. I don't think 911 was a thing, but they called law enforcement in. And in a small cave nearby, they found the bodies of an adult female, a child, and an infant. Dental records positively identified them as the Cowden family.
Now, I want to know if they searched, if this was one of the largest not manhunts, but the largest searches in Oregon history, and they searched 25 square miles, how did they not find the bodies 6 miles from the campsite?
Here's the thing. That cave was searched.
Okay, so
the cave was searched by a volunteer in one of the early days of the of the search, and it was cleared. There was nothing in it. And after the bodies were found, hold on, let me see if I can find it in my notes.
So the entrance of the cave was sealed with rocks. So I'm assuming then if somebody searched it, that it was open at that point in time.
Yeah. A resident from Grants Pass who had volunteered with the search said that he had searched the cave and there was no bodies in it. To confirm that they were talking about the same cave, he led police back to that cave.
So what we're saying is these people,
and police believe that he was not the killer.
Okay,
they have no reason to believe that he was the killer.
So 4 people vanished, were kept either at another location where they were not heard for an undisclosed amount of time before they were then taken back close to where they were abducted and then killed.
Yes.
That seems like a lot of work.
It does. Now, while all of this was going on before the bodies were found, local residents were trying to get the FBI involved because there was a number of other women disappearing in the Washington and Oregon area. But law enforcement did not believe those were connected. The 8 women that had disappeared at that time period have been positively connected to
Green River,
to be victims of Ted Bundy. But I mean, none of this fits Ted Bundy's MO.
Right. No, because as we know, Ted Bundy preferred brunettes with a center part that fit the whole co-ed look.
Yeah.
And the dad would totally not fit that. The mom, possibly because she was mid-20s. But
she was not, well, she did have dark hair, but she was more of a bouffant.
Yeah, and the kids just totally throw it off.
The prime suspect in the case, it also does not fit his general MO. But he was in the area when this family disappeared.
Very much in the area.
Yes. Dwayne Lee Little, who had just gotten parole. He got parole in May of 1974 for the rape and he had been in prison for the rape and murder of Orla Faye Phipps.
Okay.
And on Labor Day weekend, him and his family had decided to visit the same area that the Cowden family was camping at. On September 1st, 1974, a family from Los Angeles arrived at the campground at about 5 p.m. and saw 2 men and a woman in a pickup truck that fit the description of Dwayne Little and his parents to a T. And the father from the family from L.A. said, "They acted like they were waiting for us to leave, and frankly, they made us nervous, so we moved on. They were acting very odd. and making people uncomfortable.
Well, just because you're making people uncomfortable does not mean that you're actually guilty of anything.
Truth.
I kind of think that with this Dwayne person, he had a lot of circumstantial evidence, but circumstantial evidence doesn't make you guilty.
True. A miner who owned a cabin nearby actually saw Dwayne Little and his family on September 2nd. They stopped by his cabin and signed the guest book. So we know that they were in the area.
Right.
Even though they tried to deny it. And, I mean, honestly, I don't really blame them for trying to deny it, because it's one of those things, once you're in the system,
You're going to be looked at for everything?
yes.
So on November 2nd, 1964, of course we had mentioned the Orla Faye Phipps that he raped and murdered. So
Isn't Orla Faye just such a 1950s name?
I know, I love it.
I do too.
So
I just expect her to have like her hair all flipped out on the ends and little cat eye glasses and a sweater set, and
yeah,
that's the picture of Orla Faye I have in my mind.
So
Okay.
Little's girlfriend told police that she saw him with a .22 caliber gun during Christmas of 94.
74.
74. Yeah, sorry.
I've got you saying 94 now.
Yeah, we've jumped from 2 years before I was born to the year I graduated high school.
Yeah. And then on January 12th, 1975, his parole was revoked after she told police that he had a firearm.
Right. He got paroled again April 26th of 77. And then just immediately June 2nd, 1980, so hardly any time later, he picked up a pregnant 23-year-old named Margie Hunter, and her car had broken down near Portland. He sexually assaulted her, beat her. She lived, and so did her unborn baby. But Little was charged with attempted homicide, and he got 3 consecutive life sentences. Okay, is it just me, or were we harsher on repeat offenders then?
I think in a lot of cases we were.
Because I can tell you that if somebody beat a pregnant woman but she lived, it would probably just be battery, and he would probably just get a slap on the wrist.
I can point to several cases in just my area where people have literally gotten a slap on the wrist for murdering people.
I don't understand it.
Like, we're talking serving 2 to 3 years for murdering somebody. That is insane. I'm sorry. I think that if you kill somebody,
that should just be it for you.
We should throw the book at you. Literally and figuratively. The judge should pick up a book and hurl it at your head before the bailiff puts handcuffs on you and takes you into the back.
Right. Now, while I say there was circumstantial evidence on the Cowdens, it's a slam dunk case for all of these other people that he has raped and murdered and beaten. So he's not a nice person. He's not a good person, and he does not play well with others. And he does deserve to be behind bars.
But the Cowdens doesn't fit with his other crimes.
Right. Because he appears to like young women. I don't know. Considering that they were taken somewhere and then brought back, I would say that it would need to be somebody who knew the area.
I mean, if he had done it, his parents would have had to have been involved with him.
Right.
Had to.
And while I love my kids, I don't think that I would help them murder an innocent family.
He could not have controlled that many people by himself.
Well, somebody did. I mean, maybe not by themselves. So are we saying there's multiple murderers?
Possibly.
And what's the motive? I mean, it's a family that just happened to be camping.
I personally think it's very telling that the father was almost tortured.
But we don't know how he died.
No, we don't. But
are you saying that because he was tied up, probably made to watch his family shot?
I mean, his body is definitely staged. He is tied to a tree.
Right.
The others are just shot with a .22 caliber gun, except for the 5-month-old whose head is bashed in. My guess is probably from
crying
with the gun or a rock.
I don't know. See, this is why I don't like unsolved mysteries, because I mean, you just don't know. It could be anything. But you've got to have somebody that had... Okay, let's say you don't really have motive. Let's just say that, you know, you've got just an awful person who wants to kill somebody for no reason. They just want to kill somebody. And here's this nice, wholesome family. Perfect target. Although I don't know why it's a perfect target, because the more people that you have, the harder it's going to be.
Yeah. The more variables there is to go wrong, the harder it is to control.
Right. So let's just say hypothetically, you've got somebody who just happens by that nobody at the general store sees them, nobody else at the campground sees them, and they take off with this family. I'm going to say not on foot, because they would probably have been seen. So then it's going to have to be a vehicle big enough for...
I don't know how populated this particular campground is, but I have been to state parks during Labor Day weekend, and it's usually pretty crowded.
Right. Well, I was at a state park the Labor Day weekend that I got pneumonia, and it was... I mean, every campsite was full of people. I mean, and this was several years ago, so I mean, I don't know what kind of amenities they have in the 70s. But also, I think that people let their guard down a lot, because we were camping with other people, and there was a couple with kids that was camping with us, a couple with a kid that was camping with us. And they were just letting their daughter just ride her bike wherever, and she could just walk up and go to the playground, you know, without one of the parents there. So I took it upon myself to watch the kids, because you know how I am about, you know, not trusting people and crimes, and camping is evil. But I just could not believe that, because, I mean, like, these people were like, oh, you know what, we wouldn't let her ride her bike up and down our street at home, but yet it seems like it's okay here. And I was like, why? Because we're in a park? Like, you don't know any of these people. You don't know their backgrounds. You don't know their history. You don't know if they didn't just get out of prison. You don't know if somebody is looking for a 4-year-old girl because they want to have kids and she's cute. Like, I mean...
They're looking for a 4-year-old girl because they want to do bad things to a 4-year-old girl?
Right. I mean, I just could not believe these parents. But yet... And this
You're
is
not
also
allowed to tell parents that their parenting style is bad.
Well, you know
everyone's
what?
Parenting style is right.
I did. Because it was asinine. But I was...
That's probably one of my least favorite trends, is that everyone's style of parenting is correct, and you're not allowed to tell people when they're being dumbass parents.
Well, you know what? I tell people all the time when they're being dumbass parents, because honestly, that's my job. So I told these people that was stupid, and they were super bitchy and was like, oh, why don't you just go shopping for some shoes? And I was like, listen, bitch, believe me, I would much rather be shopping at a mall right now than camping. But if I go shopping, your child may be kidnapped because you don't care about her. Why do I always end up climbing up on a soapbox when we record these episodes about little kids?
Because
I can't turn work off.
Because children are vulnerable, and they activate your protection button.
I guess. I mean, I generally
honestly,
trust no one.
There are people in this world who should not be parents.
I generally trust no one, but little kids and animals, I would take them all in if I could.
Okay, so he has, after he got sent to prison for the attempted murder of Margie Hunter, he has refused all mental health treatment and has refused to discuss any of the murders. But one of his prison roommates, a man named Floyd Forsberg.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Claimed that Little confessed to the Cowden's murder. You know how me and Holly feel about prison confessions, especially prison confessions that's supposed to take place between roommates.
Nope, don't trust them.
We don't. A good chunk of the time, they're all bunk.
Right. My thought is always, what are you getting from this?
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting that Richard Cowden's father committed suicide a few months after the bodies were discovered.
Well, that seems a little suspicious.
Yeah, the police have completely cleared him of any involvement with the murder.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was an only child or not, but if something was to happen to my girls, I've said this in almost every episode we ever record, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that if something happened to either of my girls or Hannah, I would happily go to prison for the rest of my life for getting retribution on whoever did it. Happily. I would make sure that the torture I bestowed upon that person would be worth it. But if I could never find that person to get my hands on them, it would probably drive me insane to the point that I wouldn't want to live. But I have 2 kids, so I would also feel like I needed to stay alive for the other one. So
it's okay. I can take care of them.
Are you trying to get me to kill myself?
No, I'm just saying, if something happens and you do go insane and do that, I got the other one. I don't know what I'm going to do with all your animals, though.
See, that's what I'd have to stay alive for, because I have a deluded tortie who I jokingly call my familiar. She only likes me. She tolerates everybody else in this house, but she only likes me.
Is she your Shredder?
Well, she's not mean. Like, she doesn't attack anybody.
Shredder
but like,
wasn't mean.
Yes, Shredder was.
No, she wasn't. She was my baby.
But like, if Emmy comes in and like pets Fiend, her name is Phoenix Nebula, but I call her Feeny or Fiend. So if Emmy comes in and pets Fiend, she'll look up at Emmy like, "Why are you touching me? Like, you can't touch me." And then she'll look at me like, make her stop. But she'll come and she'll climb in my lap, and she puts her arms up like she wants to be picked up. She sleeps on my chest every night. Like, I'm the only person in this house that she likes. So I wouldn't want her to grieve herself to death, because she loves me.
So I'm just going to say it right now. I don't believe that Dwayne Little is the one responsible for the Cowden's murder.
I don't either, but I don't know who would. I mean, definitely definitely it's somebody from that area.
With the area.
But why? I mean, they didn't even know they were going camping that weekend, so it's not like it could be a planned thing. I don't know. I guess that's what gets me, is that it's not like they were planning this trip forever, and somebody would have known that they were going and chosen that time to abduct them. So it was probably somebody that they don't know. Although, why go willingly with somebody you don't know? Because I can assure you that if I'm camping and somebody pulls out a .22 and is like, "Come with me," I'm pulling up my 40 and I'm saying, bitch, no. You come with me. And I guarantee if that happened, there would be a struggle. Because I would not go, I wouldn't go easy. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I think that there's more to this story than we know.
Right, and then the delay in them even getting started probably had a lot to do with the fact that this is all the information that we have on it. Which you would think that we would know by now. Don't ever delay. If somebody is missing...
But, I mean, honestly, we don't know that this isn't one of those cases where it's the good old boy sheriff's office trying to cover up for, locals.
Well,
I hate to think that, but, I mean, we all know it happens.
True. I mean, I hate to say it, but the sheriff's department in the town that you live in has not been good for a long, long time. And I would really hate for them to get a crime that's not easily solved. Because I feel like they totally lucked out with Joe because he made a trail for himself.
Yes. He made it easy.
But if they ever had a Bundy, or a Green River, they wouldn't know what to do.
Well, I mean, our current sheriff pretty much turns everything over to the state police anyway. Okay, I pulled up the website Name Us, which is like a database for missing persons.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did a missing persons search. And in just Jackson County, Oregon, where this family was murdered at, missing person in 1977, 1978, 1978, 1980. It's kind of weird.
It is. Is it just one person missing?
I mean, I would have... No, those were... Each time I said it, it was a different person.
I mean, obviously... I didn't think it was the same person going missing each time.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
No, I meant like, is it a family? Like, in each occurrence, is it just one person?
It's a different person, yeah.
Okay, I know it's a different person. I'm saying...
It's just a person, a single person.
Okay, good.
One's a 17-year-old, Jay Pringle. One's a 14-year-old, Edward Nye. 6-year-old, Christy Farron. 44-year-old Frank Wisniewski.
Oh my God, we know him.
No, not Wisniewski. Wisniewski.
Oh, shoo. I was going to say, I don't know if Sherry knows her dad's missing.
And has been missing since 1980?
Yes, I mean, I thought I talked to him sometimes in the 90s, but maybe I didn't. Or maybe he was missing in Oregon and he came to Kentucky and they just didn't know he came to Kentucky.
And slightly changed the spelling of his name?
Yeah, because that's a hard name to pronounce and spell.
Yeah, 2 of these were from Medford.
So do we think that the same person who kidnapped the Cowdens maybe did the same to these people?
I don't know. I'd have to actually read through the case files on each of them and see. But I don't believe that if it was not Dwayne Little that killed this family, then I don't believe it was an isolated incident. I believe that whoever killed them has killed more people.
Well, of course, because usually if something like this happens, it's not the first time. Well, do we have a stupid criminal?
We do.
We have so many stupid criminals. The problem is going to be picking out which stupid criminal. Hey Heather, if you can hear me, I can do a stupid criminal and wrap it up so that you don't have to worry about it. Heather had to leave us very abruptly, but in her place is Anthony.
Hey, I'm producing. We're recording now.
Yeah, we are recording right now. Yeah. You may know Anthony from our Chris Benoit episode.
Yeah.
You also may know him from World Wrestling Cast podcast.
I hope they do. We just made it on iTunes this week, so
Woo!
download us.
That only took us like forever to get there.
Well, I recorded the 3 episodes Heather said to do, and then I got I went ahead and posted it, and I got my confirmation in about 2 days. So
yay! I think I don't know. It was a nightmare for us.
Where I think I watched you all go through the situation. I had a little head up on it. So
gosh, that whole first year of us podcasting was pretty much a nightmare, though. Okay, we have like 6 potential stupid criminals, and I don't even know which one to use.
Pick the one from Florida.
I don't think there's a Florida one this week. I believe they are all local.
Oh, let's go with one with a Florida-sounding name.
Okay, I'm going to go with this one just because I have done a similar thing.
Oh.
I, too, could have been a stupid criminal.
It just matter if you get caught or not.
Well, it was on a school bus.
Okay.
So, Charleston woman accused of biting off another woman's finger.
Yeah. She was not happy that lady could count to 10.
No. So, a woman from Charleston, West Virginia, being charged with, actually, I'm not really sure what her charges are, but she bit off a part of another woman's finger. They were in an argument. Miss Latasha Barrett, 31. Oh, malicious wounding. That's what she was charged with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were arguing, and I guess the other woman pointed her finger, and Latasha just bit her finger. The victim was taken to the hospital, and I guess the finger is still intact. So
I think it just took the finger tip. Not the first joint. I don't.
Right.
Believe.
Yeah. So. So Barrett was taken to South Central Regional Jail. So
South Central, that's the rough side of town.
I know. But my story is very similar. I was on a school bus when I was probably 7th grade, something like that. And I'd had a really rough day, and I get on the bus, and we have assigned seats because Heather is a bad kid and is constantly in trouble, and the bus driver made us have assigned seats. So it was me and her and our cousin Eric, and there was some guy sitting in the seat, and I said, you have to move, we have assigned seats. And he said, what are you going to do, make me? Well, I'd already had a bad enough day, so I just threw my books in the aisle of the bus, jumped over him into the seat like I was sitting on Heather's lap, kangaroo kicked this kid out into the bus aisle, and then, first he pointed his finger at me, and I bit him on the finger, and then I kangaroo kicked him into the aisle before I jumped on top of him.
Nice.
Yeah, and somehow all of this happened before the bus left the school, and I didn't get in trouble.
Oh, no, not back in the day, no.
No, but the other kid actually did get taken to the office because we had assigned seats, because Heather would start fights. Oh, yeah, she was notorious.
I've heard some stories that, she was undefeated for about 3 or 4 years.
Yes, the principal one time said, can't you control her? And I said, can't you?
Yeah, I heard she had the golden gloves of Florida Elementary.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I just got a little factoid sent to me from the sick one. She said the force needed to remove a finger is about the same as biting through a carrot.
Huh.
I don't know what kind of carrots.
Well, I mean, I've kind of heard that our brain stops us from actually being able to bite our finger off, but I've never tried because I've never wanted to bite my finger off.
I'm attached to mine usually.
Yeah, I mean, I use mine all the time, so I've kind of a fan of them the way they are.
Whenever I heard the person, because Heather let me know about that person this week. Do you remember back in school, the real world?
Yes.
Whenever
like
that
the show, not the real world. Yeah.
Yeah. That Ian guy, that punk rocker who had his tongue bit off or his nose bit off.
No,
you
I don't remember that.
Oh, it was like he was, they was like blistered in a bar drunk. It's the one that had that guy from Kentucky, I believe. But like, he was like, oh, I don't know what's going. He sounded like
Was he
Dwight
from Pot
Yoakam.
County?
I don't know. He was country. Like he made Dwight Yoakam look like he was Harvard educated. And but the Ian guy, he got his either tip of his nose or his tongue. I think it was his tongue because he was a singer in a band and hammered and stuck his tongue out at someone and just reached up and bit his tongue off. I'm like, what?
Weird.
So, yeah, that's just what that reminded me of. So.
Well, that is it for us this week. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Anthony, for filling in for Heather.
Hey, no problem.
While she's on her sick bed.
Yeah, she's by her throne right now.
Yeah, it happened very suddenly, because I'm going to cut out the 20 minutes where I'm waiting for her to come back that she doesn't come back. But just so you know, it was very sudden.
Oh, it always, I understand.
So, anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.
Take care, everybody.
If you liked this episode, please take a moment to rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast fix. You can also show your love by giving us a shout out on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We are Haunted Family Podcast everywhere. You can also tweet us by going to hauntedfamilypodcast.com/tweet. For merchandise, please go to Holly's Etsy shop, etsy.com/cathairglitter. If you have a stupid criminal, paranormal story, or true crime suggestion, email us at hauntedfamilypodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.